Hi. All right, so we're live. It's time. We're doing this. I'm gonna move my head from here. You don't need to see that. There we go. Welcome to today's stream. Today's stream is a Q&A about 3D printing, more or less, but also 3D in general. So everything from CAD to design to 3D scanning to well, you name it. Basically, it's your time to answer questions. I'm pretty well into the field, so I can hopefully answer your questions. Sound is bad? Is it too loud? It's probably too loud, right? 1 second. Hi everybody. Let's see here. A bit fuzzy on the sound. Let me check that quickly. The sound, interesting. Oh yes. Sorry about that. It should be a bit better soon. Hopefully much better now. It was good before when I checked it. Yeah, I think it's okay now. So welcome everybody. We have a great bunch of people here today. It's going to be amazing to see all of you guys and your questions. I'm really looking forward to that. Super. So we'll have a bunch. The whole idea is that you guys can be able to see the chat in the video here. So if you're watching this behind the live stream, I will try to answer any questions and fill it on the links down in the description as well. So if you missed the stream, you can still get the answers. Maybe you even can get the links to the different the questions that were answered. So hi Ben, hi Daniel, hi Print That Thing. It's awesome to see so many here already. I'm really looking forward to your questions, and I do have some questions that I got before the stream as well. So maybe I can start off with some of those. You probably all get this, but people know that you're in the biz, so to say, and they email you questions and so on. So I do have any pre-contacted questions here. Let me just check here. I mean, everyone who is in the chat right now, they're experts, so I mean, they can probably answer your questions as well. Let me see here. I had one customer, I had one person emailing me asking about 3D printers for school. And so, yeah, I see your question here. So I'm just going to answer this. For schools, I think it's really important to first figure out what kind of school you are. If you're a big school, a university, you need it for applications, or maybe you're a smaller school, you want to use it as a way of showing your students, maybe not getting each student a machine or access to a machine, but more than a tool in the classroom. So you have to kind of narrow it down on how you want to think where you should put that 3D printer. I'm just going to switch to another view here so you can see both me and the chat and a printer, because of course it wouldn't be a good Q&A without a printer running in the background. All right, so I have some questions in here. Print that sound. What do you think about SLA printing? That's a really good question. I really like it. It has its positive parts and its negative. Until now, I haven't really. I have only been in contact with printing like. When it comes to SLA, I've only been trying or working with Formlabs, so the Form 1 Plus and the Form 2. Yeah, it's my printing body. And I have myself here as a stand-in case I needed to. I can just feel myself out here. Hi, you all. As for SLA printing, I think it's really awesome, and especially for tabletop gaming and for really high-end model design, SLA is quite unbeatable. It's actually really good and really hard to get from yeah, I need some here. Really hard to like replace with some other technology. DLP is getting pretty close, and I would say that DLP is comparable to SLA, but it's still quite a difference. And it's also interesting for the material-wise. I think that SLA has a really good potential on materials, and more is coming. So even though that in general they are not really long-lasting materials, you can do like models that can be molded into other plastics and resins later. So just because you have a UV curing resin, that doesn't mean that you can't like do any proper curing of other materials. You can, for example, if you have I did a video on that quite a long ago. I took a SLA print and had a rubber material, so rubber SLA, and that material in turn would then be a two-part mold, and I can pour chocolate in that. So using the SLA technology, I got some really high definition molds that didn't need any real pre-processing or post-processing, and I can then pour chocolate or other resins for that matter and get some really cool designs. So SLA is awesome. I can't wait for it to get a little bit cheaper so we all can afford it. Some more questions. When do I think you'll find your way to the States? Well, Joel, that's really something I need to do soon. I'm really jealous of my good friend Daniel, who's in here in the chat somewhere. He's going to the Midwest Rep Festival, which is awesome. He and Paulo Kiefe, the CEO of Creative Tools, I think they're both going. It's going to be awesome. I'm really, really jealous. So I'll try to make my way there sometime soon, maybe this year, hopefully. We'll see. I got some questions here from Ben a bit long ago. My favorite filaments. Well, Ben, that obviously depends on the application, but yeah, as for brands, I'm quite close to the Echo brand, so I have some opportunity to buy that and pick up a roll and buy it in store. So that's really good. I can find some good PLA and ABS and TPU there. So almost all the TPU I use is from Creative Tools Echo TPU. So I think that's really nice. Yeah, but otherwise, when it comes to materials and filaments, it's really difficult. I mean, if I have 3mm filament, I kind of have a what should I say, a close, a narrow selection of materials. So it really depends on both applications and what type of machine and so on. So yeah, Polyflex is super for that, and but in general, I use whatever I can get my hands on. I tend not to spend too little on filament, and I tend not to accept filament for reviews from weird companies nobody ever heard about. I do it from time to time, but I don't want to try to well, I can always just be really angry about it, but the old materials I have tried have been quite difficult to use when they're from a little less known brand. So let's see, what more do we have? All right, Jeff, I see that all the experts are already helping you out. That's awesome that we all can help out here. All right, Jeff, what kind of material were you using? Let's see here if you answered. Yeah. And Nate as well, you had a question here about do you have a semi-flexible material? Yeah, so Nate, as Ben at Hawk 3D Proto said there, you had some Polyflex. I'm not sure on the TPU or the Shore value of TPU, but I use, for semi-flexible, I use quite a lot of Echo TPU, which you can get in some different Shore values. So I'm just going to explain here to you the Shore value. So there is, let me see if I can find just a good picture for you. Let me see here, I just want to find, hey, Sean Moth, thank you for being a subscriber. Shore value. So I just want to explain to you, when it comes to flexible materials like all the flexibles you were just talking about, and Polyflex, or what else was it? Semiflex or NinjaFlex and stuff like that. So you have, is it Smooth On? Yeah, Smooth On has a really good Shore value here. So, for example, we usually work with a TPU or TPE combination that is around 85. So I think NinjaFlex is around 80 or 85 Shore A value. And I usually work with that and up to 95. I think that's really easy to use. But also we work in the D scale, which is harder. So if you have a 60D, that's actually harder than a 90A, for example. So the D scale, we have 60 to 64, which makes really cool applications. There we go, right, sorry. 3D scanning expert, all right, thanks. For free 3D scanning, there is a few options. It depends a little bit. I think photogrammetry is a really good way to go, and I think that Autodesk has a solution to take pictures. So let me just check here again. I think that the recap is so you have 1 through 3D capture. So 1 through 3D capture is a free software from Autodesk, which means that you can take your mobile phone and you can then create scans from that. It works quite well, but you have to either isolate your background or you have to isolate your objects. You want to rotate your camera around the object. So let's say that this is the object I want to scan. So I want to rotate the camera and just take a bunch of pictures from all different angles and then import that into the app. It works good, but it is free. It's limited to what your camera can handle, and it's also limited to your environment. So if you you want to do as good of a scan as possible with the Autodesk 123D catch, what you should do is really isolate your object. Make sure that you have good references around. So maybe put it on a plate. Have a bunch of markers around, like just stickers, post-it notes, colorful notes, so you get some colors on. And see you later, Plinth of Thing. Thanks for sticking by. See you soon. So for that scanning, you then want to move your camera around, maybe put some good lighting if you have as well, but take as many pictures as you can and leave some space around the model so the camera can track. So the camera will actually track on your model, but also on the reference points behind. So as long as not the points or the model moves, a photogrammetry scanning would be super nice and be really easy to do. So 1 through 3D catch is your to go to yeah, remake. Thank you. Autodesk remake. They keep they keep changing all the names. So let's see here. Autodesk remake. So this is the applications. Okay, it was Memento before that. But in this application, you can also do a little bit more, let's say high-tech scans or a little bit higher quality. So you can start off with 1 through 3D catch, for example, from 123app.com. And you can find actually some other, I think there's still some softwares here, but things are moving away from here to, as you can see here, catch has become recap and remake. 1 through 3D Make has become Fusion 360, and 1 through 3D Design has been Tinkercad and Fusion 360. So there's a lot of stuff happening there. And also you have the Sculpt as well. But the 1 through 3D Catch is super for free 3D scanning. You also have where you can use a Kinect sensor or stuff like that, and that will also work very well for 3D scanning. All right, thanks, Ben. Hope to have some more questions. I'm really keen on getting answers to everything you can find. It's super exciting. Can't wait to share. And I have my Red Bull here as well, so I'll probably be ready for anything. Was that good enough about 3D scanning, or is there anything else I can help out when it comes to 3D scanning? Let's see. Ooh, that's a good question. My favorite adhesion solution. Favorite adhesion solution. Well, for adhesion, I usually go with. Usually, all the machines have something built on. But if I have glass plates, I usually tend to use Printafix. It came in my printer kit, which I have somewhere laying around here, which is like a tool set of printing tools for a general purpose printer. But it's a spray and it works on cold and hot plates. And it's almost as good, I find it almost so good that you can print cold ABS on cold plates. But well, it's still difficult to print ABS and cold plates, but it's really good, especially for small models. It could be possible. So printfx, and then I also use some what's it called? I keep forgetting the name. Yeah, just normal Captain as well. As soon as I have a heated plate, I think Captain works great. As long as you keep it clean, away from fingerprints and stuff like that. Share my longest print story. Wow. I think the longest ones are the ones that I still haven't tried. What's my longest story? Well, I have been printing a Ferrari Enzo, which is a mod for Daniel's OpenRC. I have been printing that for quite some long time and still not finished, and that's like a lot of parts. I'm also printing the Ducati motorcycle in like this big scale, but it's I mean, I did the first file like a year ago, but I still haven't completed them all. So my longest 3D print is still still not finished. But the longest single print I think is around 80 or 90 hours, and I think we did that on the Ultimaker 2 or 2 Plus, Ultimaker 2 I think it was. Yeah, Ben, I think printfx. I don't think I've tried it, actually. I haven't tried printfx on 6 Plus yet. I think I was afraid that it would interfere with the special material on the 6 build plates. So I don't think I've tried it. I'm not sure. Wow, thank you very much, Joel. Thank you very much. It helps a lot. I help you as well, and you help me. It's great. So high five to you. Have a great day at work. Well, I'll see you later. Great talk. Thanks. I'll try it as well and just tweet about it or something. So that's gonna be awesome. I have another question here I got from the mails before. Let me just find it here. Let's see. I can't seem to find it. All right, I'm gonna find that question. Just give me a second. If you want to hit me up with any questions, you can do that at Twitter as well. If you want to do. Let's see here. If you don't have a YouTube account, which is really weird, but if you don't have it, you can just hit me up on Twitter as well. Let me just see here. My favorite printer. Oh, yes, sorry about that. I saw that you answered before. The printer running in the background right now is a Blockstech Zero. It was a crowdfunded machine that is, I think it's in shipping right now. So this was a pre-production sample for review. And I'm keeping it as long as they're still in production. So as soon as they go in production, I think I'll return this back to the guys at Blockstech. Oops. Oops, got a little bit of lag there, I think. Should be back, yeah, that's back. So the Blockstech, it's a PLA printer with like 120, 140 millimeter and 120 tall. So that's also really simple to use and a proper volume. I think that's a really good volume to work within. Right now it's running PLA from Filamente, which is another great supplier in UK. Maybe you know of them, Hawk, Ben there. Maybe you've seen Filamente. Great guys. They make a really good filament that has some really vivid colors. I really like the colors. And the machine is it's a small, nifty, quiet machine, quite cheap as well. So it's a good recommendation. Let's see, we have another question here. Daniel asks, another 3D scanning related questions. What is a good way to process scan data to use in 3D files? Well, processing scan data is difficult. It's so you want to create like an object. So you really want to create a what's it called? Oh, thanks a lot, Print That Thing as well. Thank you so much for the contribution. It really, really helps. Wow, thank you very much. Um, Let me see here. Yeah, processing 3D scan data is difficult. So almost all 3D scanning delivers a mesh file. So as you know, when you download a file from Thingiverse or from, if you're into, sorry about Thingiverse and Pinshape, you usually download a STL file. You can get hold of the CAD file as well, which is the IGES and STEP and so on. And those files are like the solid files, the really good engineered files. So with 3D scanning, you get a STL or an OBJ file, which means that it's basically a big triangulated model. So if we look at, maybe I can find some application here. Let's see. I want to show you an example because I think that's really nice to see. Helps a lot with understanding as well. But all right, so I'm gonna change the camera here. Range vision, 3D scanners. Yeah, I can see that you're into it. So I'm gonna just finish off that question on processing scan data. So just give me a second here. I'll change the view. So if we can just visualize here, I want to show you the triangles. View, show wireframe. So any STL file consists of all these small triangles. You can kind of see that this model here is generated from a CAD software because it's really evenly sorted out and it's really easy to understand. So that file is easily modelable, but all scan data comes like this, but it usually comes a little bit more rough or a little bit smoothed out. I usually say that 3D scanning is like taking a photograph slightly out of focus. So I'm going to show you a different scan here. If we can just get a good example. Let's say that, yeah, this could be a scan as well. I'm just going to download here. Wow, 50 megabytes, that's quite a lot. I'm going to download this here and just show you the difference. So the difference when you get a scan file is that it doesn't really work the same way. It's very difficult to do anything about it. So you want to convert that STL file or use it in some software that you can then analyze. So let's just start off, go back one step to 3D scanning. Why do you do 3D scanning? Well, it's either because you want to copy the object, you want to create a new model, or maybe you don't have the drawings for it, so you need them. The other application is where you, the other application is where you want to restore or maybe like cultural heritage, where you want to keep the model. And the third one is when you want to measure on a model. So you have three applications, each require different post-processing. Let's say that you want to copy an object first, because that's probably what the enthusiasts do mostly. So you have an object, let's say I have my headphones here, and I want to scan them because I want to remodel this or make like a holder or something on this. If I scan this, I will get a really soft image of this. I won't get any of the sharp edges. I won't have any like logic in the file understanding that, well, this is a soft part, this is not soft, this is a even chamber all over the model. You don't get any of that data into a 3D scan. So what you can do quite easily is remodel it yourself. So when you have a STL file, you can figure out what features are thought of. So for example, if we do a face, it's really difficult to analyze that. But if you do an object, you can understand how it was created and recreate it yourself. Hi, Kobe, nice to see you. Let me know if you have any questions. But also the other sides of scanning is when you measure things, then it's really difficult to just take an STL file, measure it to a existing CAD file, and you can see the variations. Maybe you have an angle, which should be in a certain angle, and then it was then that was kind of off a little bit. And then you can see on the scan compared to the CAD data how much is off. So you have these different applications, and they all require different post-processing. But to be honest, there's no cheap or simple way to analyze scan data in a good way. So usually when you get a scanner, you should be prepared to put almost equal budget into software that you then use to do these kind of applications quickly. Was that a good enough answer, or was it just too long of ranting? Sorry about that. Okay, Nate, I'm gonna jump into your questions here. Do you know of a beginner do-it-yourself printer kit that isn't too complex? Hawk there, Ben over at Hawk said Prusa i3 Mark II, and I believe him completely. I've heard so much good about the Mark II. Joel Telling at 3D Printer Nerd, he made a good video about it. Tom's made a good video. There's a bunch of guys who's made good videos on the Prusa i3 Mark II. Personally, I've never tried it yet. I've only heard good things about it. But I've also heard that it is a do-it-yourself kit. It is like the hardcore printer user. Depending on what type of customer you are, the one that wanna print and not care about the machine, but they just wanna have cool designs, maybe it's not the correct first printer. But if you want to get into the hobby and have as good as a printer as possible to get to know the printer and the hardcore G codes and open source and building and linear bearings and stuff like that, if that's your if you're like a geek in that matter, I think this is a perfect machine as far as I've heard. But it is a quite distinction between the I want a finished machine and the I want to get to know my machine. And I think depending on what you're looking for, the Mark II could be the perfect printer, or it could be a really good printer, but maybe not the first one for you. All depends on what you feel about 3D printing. And the same as for you, Kobe. For if I recommend the Ainit A8, I think that it would be an interesting printer, but it also the same question goes for you. Do you want to have a printer that you create designs on and the printer is just your tool, or do you want to have 3D printing and make cool things, mod it, try different materials, and just expand your interest in 3D printing? If you have to choose between those two scenarios, which feels better for you? And also your question there on what budget PLA you would recommend. I think that really depends on where you're located, because budget really matters depending on region. If you're in the US, I think you should go to, for example, Matter Hackers. They have some good. The second one, which one was the second one? The one where you want to get into the printer. Then it's up to budget-wise, I think. The Ainit is A8. I think that's a little bit cheaper than the Prusa Mark II. So if you can get a building kit for that one, maybe try it out, but be prepared to have less, I would say probably less reliability on electronics and stuff like that. But I'm not sure. I haven't tried any one of them. I've just seen other people use them. So I don't have any hands-on experience with either one. Sorry. The printer here I'm listing, by the way, in the top around, it's around there. The community 3D printer. I'm looking into buying like a A8 or maybe a Maker Gear or something like that, and together with you guys review it, test it out, try different things, and then basically after a month or two, I will just give it away to one of the contributors. So if you like put in $1, you'll be into the giveaway. So that's my plan with this community printer, and I think everyone who contributes will get a vote on what printer to buy, basically. So that's what I want to try to establish. But yeah. So that's my opinion on those two options, but it sounds like you would be into basically any lower end budget, but I think you should aim for some higher quality than the absolute cheapest, because as Dustin and Preston at Press Rosette have tried, and also Angus, I think they've all done some videos on sub $200 or $300 machines, and they have had some different thoughts about them. So yeah, I think that's a little bit up to what you feel within budgets. Range vision. Do you have any other questions about 3D scanning, for example? Is there anything you are curious about? On my opinion, I'm sure that you know quite a lot as well. Michael, I don't offer a paid personal consulting service. That would be weird. I mean, I love to do it here for free. So if there's any questions you don't feel that you can take with the community, maybe you can think again, and hopefully we can all get to use them. Otherwise, send me a Twitter PM and I'll see if I can answer it, or if I can send you to someone close to you, someone locally for you, and let them help you. So if there's any really sensitive stuff that you don't want to ask the whole community in live stream, we can arrange that. Just hit me up on Twitter or send a private YouTube message. It's all up to you. Let's see here. My worst 3D print ever. Wow, that's that's a really good question. Kobe, this printer is a Bloxtec Zero. Let's see here. My worst print ever. I think I've had some really bad prints, but I mean, usually they sold. I do have a design that I did myself, of course, and the expert here. I did a design that is just terrible when it comes to warping, and I've tried so many times on different machines, and it's really difficult. It consists of like just a few centimeters wide, and then just like 2 or 3 centimeters deep and tall, and it's made of ABS, but the design itself will really just warp. So I've tried hips, ABS, PLA. PLA is okay, but it still kind of warps. So that's my worst model ever. It's a constant nightmare. I constantly have to like dry out my materials to even try to do it. Sorry about that. You need some water sometime when talking. Yeah, Kobe. So it's a Bloxtec Zero. I'll send you the design, Ben. I promise it will be difficult, especially in some other material than PLA. So ABS, for example, PETG, I've had it work with. So I'd say that PETG is a sheet. So ABS or some copolymer that is really strong. I'll send it to you later. Range vision. Can you name good, best in your experience example of synergy of 3D scanning and 3D printing? It's a really good question. I think that for me, the solutions I've tried is the 3D System Sense, actually the Sense 2. It's a quite bad scanner when it comes to resolution and precision, but it's super easy to use. And for example, this one here is made with it. This one is then printed on 1.2 millimeter nozzle, trying to do like wooden, but it just craps. It's good that it's not sharp, but the layers here are really bad. But the scanning is. See you later, Ben. Thanks for stopping by and for bringing in some questions. So I'll see you later. Yeah. So synergy between scanning and printing is difficult because you need resolution to do a good print, but you also need to like take care of fixing holes. So you don't want to have any holes from the scanning. So when using the 3D System Sense solution, not the iSense, because the iSense is on iPads and it's crappy and it's difficult to handle. So when you do that, so when you scan on a PC, the software lets you create a watertight model. So if you scan, for example, a face, you can even select a face as target scan, and it will automatically do like a bounding box. You don't scan anything outside of the face. It would also help you cut for your shoulders to make a bust, and basically just fill in any holes that you don't get. So I think that's a really good synergy of doing combination of scanning people, for example, on a trade fair, or you're scanning your friends and family who don't understand that you need to sit still for a 3D scan. They don't understand all that. So with the Send solution, it's really simple to do a quick scan, get a good result that you can then just send to the printer. You also get color data. So if you have a color printer like the 3D Systems Pro or old C Corp printers. SLS, so if you have those, or multi-jet or whatever it's called, if you have those printers, you can then get all the color data on the model, which is pretty cool, Otherwise, Synergy, I think that's the easiest way to do. But if you want to step up into 3D scanners, I think it's Artec also has a really good software. So Artec scanners together with Artec Studio, the software is super nice. Has all the features and bells and whistles that I really wanna do. Let's see. Let's see what questions we have here. Worst prints. Have you ever made a fidget spinner? Kobe asks. I'm one of those kids. I haven't done it yet, but I've seen that it's a super big deal. So I'm actually thinking about designing a unique one, but I'm not sure if I can be unique anymore. Everyone's doing them right now. But I haven't printed one. I do have a lot of bearings left, but I don't have any really good rolling bearings. So I'm sorry, I don't have any printed yet. But I think you can make some pretty cool spinners, and it's a great way of the hobby. And I see people like teenagers that have gotten a 3D printer, and I see them doing a really good service. So they sell the fidget spinners because they become such a big deal. So they can make quite good, decent money on selling spinners for let's say $9 or $8, and actually get some money for it. So that's super cool. Absolutely, Range Vision. You're very welcome. Let's see. Anyone else has any questions that they wanna ask? Let's see if I had someone here as well. I had one question before if I was gonna celebrate 5K subscribers. I do want to, but I think it's kind of too late right now. So maybe we should aim for the next level, so I can prepare and talk to some suppliers if they want to help out. So maybe next level is it like 10K or 7.5? I don't know. But as I said before, the community printer here, I think that could be quite interesting as well. Maybe that's like a 5K sub, subscription, no, not subscription, but like a celebration thing. But that's only for the ones who contribute. So maybe I can do some package with some filaments and stuff like that and celebrate 5K. I think that would be fun. But it is, I'm still aiming higher, or making sure that more people can get help. Let's see, anything else? Anything else? Any other questions? Favorite filament for strong parts? Strong parts. I think it has to be let's see, favorite filament. Well, I mean, PETG is really nice for strong filaments, but I've seen I'm not really good on the nylon materials. I know that you, Daniel, you printed some really cool stuff in the copolyers from ColorFab. I don't have access to that material, so I haven't really tried that yet. But I've seen some good stuff from you, so I trust you got some good recommendations maybe. But when it comes to me for strong materials, I really do like the ColorFab XTCF, which is the carbon fiber infused XT filament, which is rigid and it feels super strong. Not sure if I have any model here, but it feels super strong. and that's what I use when I need something strong. But I haven't tried all these cool cold polyers yet, and I hope to do that in the future. Yeah, nylon forest is it's super difficult. I had some wolf bites and tried that on a surface and got it to work quite well. But nylon forest is super difficult to print with. They have a nylon carbon fiber, so it should be like impact resistant but also stiff. And it's incredibly difficult to print. But when we did get the model out, I made a beer opener. It's super hard and rigid, but it warps like crazy. Absorbs moisture like nothing else. So that's just really difficult. Michael asks, let's see here. Michael asks, what program do you use on PC or Mac to access iPad iSense data? That's a good question. Good question. I only use the Sense, which doesn't use a Apple product. So I only use the Sense that has the Windows desktop application. So I'm actually not sure which application you should use there. Let me just check here. I think it's called, it should be called, you should get like SDL's data out of it. So I think you can just transfer them somehow. I think you can do some simple editing as well in the iPad software, but I don't remember how you get them out from the scanner. There is an export tool, but I don't remember where they go. So I'm sorry, I don't have any better answer on that question. Oh, ouch, sorry. What else? Can anyone guess what I'm printing, by the way? You do see there's a printer going on, right? Can you guess what it is? Daniel is not allowed to guess. Let me see. I think you can. I think there should be any. Let me just see. But did you? Yeah, it's the boat. But it's not the Benchy. It's not the Benchy boat. It actually isn't the Benchy range vision. It's it may be from the same creator. Who knows? So yeah, Michael, were you thinking about some sort of? You said to access the data. Are you also interested in how to process the data, or are you just focusing on accessing the data? Hey, Hawk and Ben, welcome back. You missed a lot. Let's see here. All right. I had a question here before as well. What's your favorite 3D design I printed? Well, my favorite design is probably Daniel's OpenRC F1 car. It's both. Yeah, it's exactly. Oh, I haven't printed the new version yet. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, but it's actually. I think it's a super nice model because it has all these different parts that are beautifully designed, but also fit nice together. So you don't have to like put in the RC kit in it. It's just very beautiful otherwise, and it's also great for like showing what 3D printing can do because you can assemble with some screws and bolts. So you get the hardware as well. But you also get like the tires that are soft, you get the wing in one color, and you get the plastic cover and the gears. So there's so many like cool things about 3D printing all put in together in one model. So I think that's a really good model to print. And just to print and show off to you guys, and hopefully you can put in some RC stuff as well. It is a little bit costly, but I mean, if you have a 3D printer, $100 isn't costly, but yeah, it could be. So I will print my 2017 RC upgrade, and hopefully before the Formula 1 season starts. We'll see about that. That's my goal, at least. Yeah, we need to do a hangout, Ben. We should do that sometime soon. I mean, there's so much to talk about. We should do like a community live stream, something where everyone can just ask questions. It should be super cool. Michael, let's see here. I found iPod software not to be very good. I thought I heard about the direct Mac program that captures better. Ah, okay. I'm not sure if there's a software to capture the iSense data. I haven't seen that yet. Yeah, 10 days is nowhere, Daniel. It's gonna go well anyways. But yeah, so the capturing of on a Mac, I think it's very difficult. But on a Mac environment, you can have the 123D sculpt if you wanna like retouch on the models, and you can also use Blender, I think, like to do some post-processing on the scans. But yeah, I am a little bit off Mac. I'm not so good with the whole OS environment, unfortunately. But I know there should be some really good stuff there as well. Yeah, 10 days is no problem at all. I'll just steal all the machines at work and maybe I'll have it done. We'll see. Anyone else has some questions on anything at all? Doesn't have to be 3D printing. It's a live Q&A. Your questions, my answers, or my answers, your questions. Let's see, what do we have printing? Oh yeah, of course. I show you guys the boat before, so of course you're gonna guess it's right. Yeah, it's this boat. Wait, the screen is not showing? 1 second. That's that model. Let's see, so that's the model that's printing right now. Oops. And Imran Salik asks, what program does 3D printer use? Well, there's several steps for a 3D printer. So you don't only have one software that controls like everything you do, but you can usually use several ones. So when it comes to 3D printing, you kind of have 3 steps. So you have the model. The model can be created yourself, it can be scanned, or it can be downloaded. Then you have a software that translates the 3D data into machine code, and this software is called a slicer, and that software then goes into the 3D printer. So I guess that this software, the slicer, is what you're asking about. And there are several different types of softwares there. One really good that is free is called Cura, C-U-R-A. It's easy to use, has all the tools that you need, but it's also, yeah, it's also complicated. There's a lot of settings that you can set in. Then you also have a paid version that is called Simplify 3D. It's a super nice software, has great features, can be easy, can be complicated, depends on what you want. Sorry, and it also has, oops. Oh, the camera just slid out. And that's the Simplify 3D also have what's it called? Presets for a lot of machines on the market. But all what it all comes down to is, in the end, depending on what printer you got or bought, you probably got a software to it. Almost all printers include some sort of slicer software. But when it comes to modeling, it's a totally different set of softwares out there. So in that turn, it depends on if you're a student, because then you can get quite advanced softwares for free, or if you want to use a free software that you can use commercially and stuff like that. So if there's any follow-up questions on that, Imran, I'm very happy to answer them. Ben asked, how many printers do I own? Well, I don't really own printers. I loan them, and I tend to loan them for a little bit longer than I should. But I also have access to a lot of machine through work and stuff like that. So right now, I don't know if I own any. I don't know. I've gotten loaners that they don't want to returned, so I don't know if they're mine or if I'm just loaning them indefinitely. So I've owned a i3, duplicator i3, and I've owned a Replicator 1 dual and also a Replicator Thingomatic. So those printers I have owned, but I don't have yet anymore. Let's see here. I'm just gonna link. I do have there's been a lot of people asking for like gear and stuff like that, for cameras and stuff I don't use. Yeah. Don't tell anyone, Ben. Don't tell anyone. Don't call the libraries. I'm just gonna link here in the chat one of my because I made a new page quite recently. So I'm just gonna tell you guys here. So on that link, if you want, you can find a lot of my gear. So just antonmonson.com/gear. You'll find the stuff that I have in here using and so on. Let's see here. Daniel asked, what printer would you choose if you have a budget of, let's say, $4,000? Would you go for the most expensive one, or is there something around $1-2 grand that you think rather choose? That's a good question. It's really difficult. Range Vision says, and I have to buy one with dual nozzles. Well, okay, dual nozzles, 4K. What is that in Swedish kroner? Okay. I do want to like think, what do I get for 4K? Well, I get some sort of, I guess I get the Ultimaker 3. I guess I also get the, do I get the, what's it called? The Markforged? How much is that? That's probably much more, right? Yeah, I think the Mark IV is more than 4K. It's true. Thank you very much, Ben. I do get I get the BCN Sigma R17. I do get the Ultimaker 2 Plus as well. I would get a Formlabs SLA printer, which is nice. I would also get a lot of like this more bigger machines, but less nozzles. Usually those are single nozzles. That's a super difficult question. I think I might go with the Ultimaker 3. I think so, because it has like all the features really, and it has a good potential for expansion as well. But it still feels like I'm choosing it because it's within the budget as well. So yeah, it's yeah. Sorry, Hawk 3 Proto. So Ben there, yeah, the Replicator 2X. I know that's your favorite machine. So thank you very much, Ben, CEO of Hawk 3D Proto in UK, around UK as well. You do stuff within UK and around UK. Super expert as well, so make sure you check him out if you're in UK. But also, it feels like, because it sits within that segment of $4,000, up to 4,000, I think it's the one printer I've had been so close to and tried out so much that I really want to put that in my home. It has the dual extrusion that really works. It has dual extrusion with PVA. It has the build cores, which are easy to use, and hopefully there'll be more new of them. And over and all, it looks good and it's simple to use. It is a little bit slow, but you can speed that up if you want to be a little bit risky. But I want to shout out you. So yeah, I think I'd choose the Ultimaker 3 right now. But I think tomorrow, maybe, I'll be sent another machine that has dual extrusion and works well below that budget and seems to have most of the features I just explained. So if you haven't already, you should probably subscribe and see some content on that printer. And it's yeah, I guess I can hint what it is, but it's a dual extrusion, but it's made on a little bit of a different application, so to say. So I'm really excited for that. But I think right now, today, without prior knowledge, I think the Ultimaker 3 is my choice. Even if I could like choose an SLA, I think for my use an SLA wouldn't be that practical. I mean, sure, it's super beautiful, a lot of good potentials, but as a like home printer user, I'm not sure I would benefit so much from a SLA machine right now. How many printers do I sell at my work? Well, not many different. Oh, different manufacturers. I think there's around 10 brands right now that is a part of the company. I think it's around 10. So both bigger brands, smaller brands, Chinese brands, local brands. I think it's around 10 brands right now. But Creative Tools is great at narrowing down what type of machines that they want to sell, and they're quite active in. It's a great company, not because I work there, but in general, it's a great company for 3D printing, and it has really narrowed down to a few select machines, but they cover like all the areas. And so whatever you need, you'll find it there. But we don't have like duplicates of machines. So I think it's a good number. It's a really interesting number. Absolutely, Ben. You're more than welcome. The Replicator 2X, yeah, I miss. It's too bad that the Replicator is being stopped manufactured anymore. It's a sad day. But again, the Replicator 1 dual extruder was super nice as well. It was this wooden box, and you had all the warm lights and the fuzzy feeling. It was a really cozy machine. I'm very sad that I sold that one. It was my first personal printer that I bought. Let's see, questions. The boat is coming along. What percentage is it on? It's on 86%, so we have 40 more percent. Yeah, range vision. I do have a pretty cool video on that somewhere, like PVA washed away and stuff like that. And I noticed that someone did. I did like a carbon fiber experiment. So I printed models in PVA, and then I wrapped different types of fibers and resin on it. I haven't made it out into a video yet, and I saw that some company, I can't remember which one, they made a quite big article about like using carbon fiber. Now they do it professionally, like with vacuum pumps and heating chambers and stuff like that. But I just did it for kind of for fun. I did show it on my previous stream. Maybe I can just maybe I can get that quickly in here. Just give me a second, and I'll try to. Yeah, here we go. If I can access that file. Daniel, you'll see that machine maybe this weekend. Hopefully I can get some content out on it this weekend. Maybe an unboxing live, maybe, for you guys if you want to see that. But otherwise I need to start working on the review quickly. I will go on a vacation for like almost 2 weeks, so I really want to get that machine going, put in some hours on it, and just push out models. I have heard that it's quiet. Get it? So I've heard that it's so quiet that I should do like a really good comparison. I have the first Sigma is here, thanks to Hawk3 and the guys at BCN. I will send that back, I suppose. But I will try to do a comparison old Sigma versus new Sigma, and that should be really interesting. Let's see. We have an archive here. I just want to show you guys the carbon fiber stuff I'm talking about. Here it is. Let's see if I can share this screen with you so you can see. There we go. So I made this, worked on some models here. You see, maybe I can take one at a time. So if you see this image here, this is PVA printed in the Dreamer, but just PVA, nothing else, just normal PVA. And on that, I then took, let's say, I just want to show you guys here the timestamps. This is from early 2016. So I just want to say that I was first. No, I'm just kidding. So then we took, yeah, that's carbon fiber. It's not so nice. Let me see here. Maybe what is a good example? Yeah, maybe here. So I took that and I cured some resin and then started to apply it on the model. Maybe not in that video, maybe in this video. Yeah, so I started to apply carbon fiber on the PVA. And yeah, I just worked with that. It's really, really difficult, but I kind of did it. And I think I ended up with a... Yeah, I did talk about it, but I'm not sure if I'm finished with that video. Whoops! Yeah, never mind. Let's put that away. So for PVA, I'm working on some fun stuff there, and hopefully that video will be done sometime soon. But it's a long-going project, and it's quite difficult to like put down into a good video as well. So yeah. Hawk 3D Proto asks 1.75 millimeter or 2.85 millimeters, and why? Well, again, depends on your printer, but for me, 3 millimeters are, when it comes to PLA, it's more difficult to bend inside of a tube because it's more mass, but it works better on light machines. And well, in general, it's easier to load and unload, I think, in general, but also a little bit more difficult on flexible materials. But again, flexible materials on 1.75 is also difficult. So I'd say that choose either depending on you're going direct drive or Bowden drive. I don't see a lot of Bowden 1.75. The blocks here, for example, is Bowden 1.75, but it's a really short distance, so it doesn't have to be thicker. But when you look at Ultimaker, the BCN, and basically any bigger machine with Bowden, they only run 2.85. And 1.75 is more common for direct drive because it's narrow and it's more common material as well. So unfortunately, we have to have 2.85 as well, but in general, most printers run 1.75. So that's about it. You're more than welcome. Any more questions? Maybe it's running out there. The boat is almost ready. What do we have on the timeline? 93%. All right, so 93%. It's time to get your questions in. It's just a few more minutes. So bring me your best. Bring me your best. Wow. I just saw here what Michael did as well. That's amazing. If you're still here, Michael, thank you very much for the contribution. It's super nice. I see it's in here into the chat as well. Super nice. Very happy to see that. It really helps, and I really wanna, yeah, super nice. Thank you very much. Let's see here. If you didn't see this before, I just repeated it. He didn't do this again, but wow, thank you a lot, Joel. Joel did this a few minutes ago, so maybe you've seen 2 messages. That was just amazing. Shows what a good guy he is, how well he contributes to the community. It's just amazing. Thank you very much. Wow. What's the status on the Enso? The status on the Enso is that it's difficult to get everything done. I'm going to show you guys here, if you're new to the stream, you haven't seen my very long-going project. I've been sculpting a Ferrari Enso mod for the OpenRC Formula 1 car that you can download from Barspin at Thingiverse, or Daniel Norrie, the one question here in the chat. So just give me 1 second here, and I'll try to start off Fusion, and I'll just give you a fast glimpse on what I'm doing. Wow, Joel is the man. Make sure you send Joel telling over 3D Printing Nerd some high fives later. That's just amazing. Wow. We'll go in here to the yeah, what's here? It's a stream. This is the model. Let's see here. So Daniel, the status on the Enso is that it's loading. Not only for me, but for the creation as well. So this is the front of the Enso. The whole idea is that I take the original design from Daniel and I make sure that all the wheels and stuff like that can spin. So that's why I'm trying out these big lumps in here to make sure that the wheels will still work. So you don't have to change that. You do, however, have to change these two plates here. So I did make them a little bit wider to make space for the cover. Again, I can probably narrow them down, but then you get an open hole here for like an open, this area here would be open and just put in a lot of water and dirt and stuff like that into the electronics. So you should probably print these two plates as well. But then you have, let's see, I do have more of this car, I promise. Whoops. So you have the lid, so this will be hopefully just by magnets. You will have a cover as well. I don't think it will be like dual extrusion see-through or something like that. Maybe not. And you have the rear parts as well, and then the midsection, which is this one. So you get all these sections. The idea is to make it printable, but it's taking a lot of time. But all this here is sculpted with from one form. So I can probably show you guys that form. No, I cannot. But I started off with one form and then just worked my way through it. Pretty fun actually to do free-form sculpting. So just using the sculpt tools here. So that's the status on the Enso. it's taking a lot of time. Sorry about that. I know I promised you it earlier, but yeah, it takes time. Let's see if we're back into the... Wow! Thank you so much for subscribing, Rick. Thank you very much. Yeah, and then the pop-ups here, if you haven't seen it already, if you look down in the description, you can find some links there if you want to subscribe, make a chat, or just talk to me. And now the print is finished, so don't bother about that today. Just go to my Patreon instead. No, I'm just kidding. Well, you can do that if you want to. You can find that there if you want to. But, oh, it's Tom streaming as well. I haven't seen that. Oh, that's bad planning of me. Oh, well, anyway, we had a blast here at Duplicate, so you kind of missed something. But you're not too late. I'm still doing the printed model here. It's not much left, but I'll take it out for you. Range Vision is a subscriber. Thank you very much. You're welcome to the 3D print. I'm not sure what to call me. Everyone has these names, but I don't. I can't call myself Mafia because we have the 3D printing Mafia. Whoa! That went flying. Let's see. Here we have it. Can you see it? Come on, out of focus. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That's a pretty decent model. It's made in the Blockstex 0 in medium resolutions, in Cura, a little bit higher speed, in filamented RPLA green. Carry on for another hour. Well, wow. Maybe, yeah. I think this has to be all for today. I think that will maybe next week on Tuesday as well. I'll check if there is any ongoing stream. Maybe I will not do it then. I know Tom is in the same time zone as me, so I will probably check if he's doing something. Maybe I can do another day. all the other guys are in US, so luckily I can kind of miss their time schedules, or unluckily because yeah, never mind. I think that would be great. Is there any last questions for today? Otherwise, I'm gonna finish this off. And as I said before, you can probably find most of the questions. If there are anything specific that I linked to, I will try to put that in the description as well. So if you're watching this post live, it should still make kind of sense. So any last questions? So for the blocks, I'm currently using Cura. I haven't had any good profile with Simplified 3D and haven't had time to do anything. I think that Dustin, Jetman, has done a profile, but I haven't asked for it yet. So hopefully I can get it. But I want to try to make my own just to learn a little bit first. But Jetman has one. If you need one, you can probably make a shout out to him. Anything else? Any questions before we end episode 1? This is just the first episode and I feel like it's been great. Hopefully you think so as well. And we'll have, maybe not weekly, but maybe bi-weekly or something. We can have like these Q&As. Because I don't run out of answers. I just run out of questions from you guys. So make a last brush. You can tip through the app? What? Did you check if you have any? Did you check if you have any money on your account? I'm just kidding. Where? You could do a donation, or you can do a super chat as well if you want to. Should work somewhere around that. But if you want, if you're not already a Patreon, you can do that. And I'm really close to getting into this level where we do have a like a live Q&A with follow-up questions, videos, and stuff like that. So yeah, I need $1 more for that, and it will be unlocked. So that's gonna be every month. Just a short one, probably just among the Patreon guys. But this live stream here will be bi-weekly, maybe once a month or something on the main channel. But then for the patrons, I'll try to be just live as soon as I can. But yeah, I need a few more guys for that. So, but again, I won't beg too much. You guys are doing a great job with helping me out, and I'm really, really thankful for that. Just by watching my videos, looking at me talking about 3D printings, it really helps out. It's fun that I can entertain you guys with some videos and hopefully learn you guys some stuff, and also learn myself when doing these videos. It's a great like win-win. I get to do fun stuff, you get to see fun stuff, and we all make fun stuff out of it. All right, closing down in 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Any last questions? Anything you want to share with the YouTube YouTube community, with everyone who's gonna see this? Wow, yeah, thanks so much for the stream as well, guys. Thank you very much. Twice a week. Twice a week, yeah. I could have like a constantly live web camera and sound. I could do like a Twitch 24/7 stream where you watch me sleep next to my printer and stuff like that. For something. Again, Michael, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the contribution. Very nice. Hopefully you got into the Q&A. Thank you very much, Philip. Thanks for watching, guys. And I think that's it. We'll end it by there, and we'll catch you next week, and you can see all my videos somewhere. Have a great night. See you. Bye.